Kenji moved like a phantom through the downpour. Each step was sure and silent. He was the protector, the shield against the storm. His lord was in danger. Kenji would not fail him. His hand rested on the hilt of his katana, a dragon coiled around aged steel. This was no mere blade, it was the soul of his ancestors, passed down through generations. Kenji felt its power thrumming with each beat of his heart. They were one, samurai and sword, ready to face any threat. Lord Akiyama was a man of peace, a scholar in a time of strife. This made him a target. Whispers of betrayal and assassination followed his name like shadows. Kenji swore an oath to protect his lord, even if it cost him his life. Tonight, that oath would be tested. The bamboo forest was a treacherous maze. Rain hammered down, turning the ground into a slippery trap. Each gust of wind sent a wave of icy water through the tightly packed stalks. Visibility was reduced to a few feet, shadows twisting in the gloom. Kenji relied on instinct, his senses honed by years of training. He could hear the rustle of leaves, the drip of water, the distant croaking of frogs, but another sound cut through the symphony of the forest, a soft, almost imperceptible crunch of gravel. Someone else moved in the darkness. He tightened his grip on his katana. The dragon seemed to stir, sensing his unease. Kenji pressed forward, his eyes scanning the shadows, his every sense alert. This was no ordinary storm, this was a night for death. Ryo was a creature of the shadows. The rain and mist were his allies, concealing his movements. He moved with a predatory grace that belied his deadly purpose. Tonight, he was the bringer of death. And death paid well. He gripped the hilt of his tanto, a wickedly curved blade with a blackened edge. Poison, a concoction brewed from the deadliest herbs, coated the steel. One scratch was all it took, one scratch to end a life. His target was Lord Akiyama, a man who lived by rules Ryo had long since abandoned. Honor and loyalty were for fools. Survival was the only law he followed, and tonight, survival meant killing. The scent of fear, faint but unmistakable, reached him. His prey was close. Ryo smiled, a chillingly predatory expression in the gloom. Steel met steel with a sound like a temple gong. Sparks flew as Kenji's katana clashed with Ryo's tanto. The force of the impact sent shockwaves up Kenji's arms. He had expected an attack, but not from this adversary. Ryo fought with a brutal, unpredictable style. He was like a cornered animal, lashing out with savage fury. There was no honor in his movements, no finesse, only a desperate will to survive. Kenji, however, was the embodiment of Bushido. He moved with disciplined grace, each parry and riposte precise, deadly and honorable. The clash of their blades was a clash of philosophies. One fought for honor, for duty, for a lord he had sworn to protect. The other fought for survival, for the cold coin that stained his soul. The bamboo forest, a cage of swaying stalks and torrential rain, became their battleground. Ryo lunged, his tanto aimed at Kenji's throat. The poisoned blade glinted ominously in the dim light. Kenji deflected the blow with a flick of his wrist, the dragon on his katana seeming to snarl in defiance. He knew the danger of that blade. One touch could mean death. He had to end this quickly, before honor forced him into a mistake that could cost him his life. But Ryo was a slippery opponent. He fought dirty, using the rain and the treacherous footing to his advantage. He tripped, feigned, and struck from unexpected angles. Kenji felt a searing pain as the tanto grazed his arm. A thin line of blood, dark in the fading light, welled up. The poison was fast-acting. Already he could feel it working its way into his veins, numbing his arm, stealing his strength. Time was running out. Kenji stumbled back, his vision blurring at the edges. The poison was sapping his strength, his movements slowing. He could hear the whispers of his ancestors, their voices carried on the wind. "Remember who you are," they hissed. "Remember what you fight for." He closed his eyes, drawing strength from their ancient wisdom. His grip on the katana tightened. The dragon, sensing his resolve, pulsed with a warm energy that spread through his body. It was a fleeting warmth, a bulwark against the encroaching cold of the poison. He had to end this, not just for himself, but for all those who came before him, for Lord Akiyama, for honor. Kenji opened his eyes, his gaze locking onto Ryo. He would face this challenge head-on. He was a samurai, and he would not falter. Ryo pressed his advantage, sensing Kenji's weakening state. He was a predator who smelled blood, and he would not be denied his kill. He lunged again, his tanto aimed at Kenji's heart, but Kenji was ready. He sidestepped the attack with unexpected speed, the dragon on his katana flashing in the dim light. Ryo, overconfident, stumbled past him. This was the opportunity Kenji needed. With a roar that echoed through the bamboo forest, he unleashed a move passed down through generations of his family. It was a desperate gamble, a move that left him completely open, but